Welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Off the Record. I know it's been a minute since we've been around, but we're back to talk about racism and police brutality in 2020, as well as talk about some of these black celebrities that just can't seem to shut up. So, what's up, Mike and Quan, man? Where y'all been at?
Man, I'm still quarantining. Um, working remote. you know, um, yeah, been on the low, man. Been on the low, just trying to stay safe, man, and trying to do what's needed to be done. So, what about y'all?
Well, back to work full time. So that's been pretty whack, but whatever. I guess we gotta move forward one way or another. But other than that, been chilling, man. We're
Same
waiting to get
here.
back, waiting to get back on the mic.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's been an emotional few weeks, and just been needed just to talk, get some things off the chest, and just pretty much get a chance to see how everybody's feeling.
Well, let's jump into it because I do want to get you guys' opinions on just how you felt during this time, and so one of the questions I was thinking about asking you guys is how have you personally been impacted by seeing so many black people get killed by cops, which seems like every couple weeks there's a video coming out. It's like, how are you personally feeling?
I said personally, I'm just disgusted. You know, I guess past angry. I mean, to continuously see what's going on. You know, yeah, people are maybe getting stuff out with the camera phones, and people are starting to have dialogue and talk about what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's still happening. You know what I mean? Um, still happening, regardless of what evidence is being shown, regardless of what people are trying to get out there. The narrative to get out. It's like they don't even care. It's like they don't even give a damn. Um, Pretty much, they don't give a damn.
How have you
Still,
felt, Mike? Oh, my bad, Quan. Go ahead.
no. Yeah, that's my
How are
two
you
cents.
How are you personally impacted, Mike? Have you has it weighed heavier on your shoulders as of late?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously this is nothing new. Like we've seen this shit happen before,
Hmm.
in the past, but I don't know, it is hitting a little different now. Um, and I don't know. I've been trying to pinpoint why it's been hitting me a little different now, but I think um, I'm assuming it's because of being a new father of a boy, of a black boy. So it's like you just think of um, me personally. I just been thinking of like a whole bunch of different scenarios, man. Like one from it being if that was to happen to me, um, my son would be by himself, or as a parent, and when my son got older, if that was to happen to him, like how I would feel. So it's it's tough, man. That's how it's impacted me. It's just sadly just thinking about ways to deal with that if you were to even run into those scenarios. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I mean it. There's been a couple times over the last few weeks where I've unplugged from a lot of stuff. It's racism is not new. Police killing black people was not new. It's something that we've had to live with, and we've all had our experiences dealing with police officers and dealing with racism. So it's not new. Um, but I do think you have the backdrop of a pandemic happening, and then it just seems like every other day there's this video of cops killing an unarmed black person. And there's been a couple times that I was just like, yeah, I'm tired. Like I'm physically and mentally and emotionally tired. And I
mhm.
was outside jogging earlier around my neighborhood, and I had black hoodie on, had my hoodie up over my head, headphones in, and I was literally thinking like, all right, so what if somebody decides that they want to call the cops on me for running around my neighborhood, a neighborhood in
Right.
which I used to be on the HOA board, a neighborhood of which I'm one of the first owners in the neighborhood. What if they just
Right.
what if they just decide we don't recognize that black man? And then what if
Mhm.
cops roll up and I got my headphones and I can't hear the
You can
cops?
hear
You
anything.
know what I'm saying? Like I can't even jog in peace without having to consider, all right, could this shit go sideways?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a crazy amount of weight to have to walk around with as a black person. And so that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's real because I mean, even to jump in real quick and piggyback off what you said, I don't know if y'all saw that Jay Farrell.
Yeah,
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that
recently, and he just posted, I guess, the security footage from a nearby business of what happened to him, and he was just going for a jog, and he said they approached him like, you fit the description of a black man in gray sweatpants and a gray shirt. So, they laid him on the ground and everything in hot California. You know what I mean? And the only thing that really kind of got him off, because they cuffed him and everything, is that they eventually radioed and said they caught the person. And he was telling them like, man, look, y'all can look me up. Y'all making a mistake. Google me, whatever. And they wasn't trying to hear it. So, just to piggyback off of what you said, Alex, like, as simple as going for a jog, man, it's like, you got to keep all of these things in mind, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you that racism it ain't going nowhere, and if anything, it's prevalent and it's and it's massive. You can't even go out and jog. But if it's a white guy or a white woman, it's no problem. It's like a hunky dory day, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. But now you see that you can't even go out here and jog without being messed with or white, or without being harassed, literally. You know what I mean? It's just sickening, and it's just to a point where it's like you can't turn your eye to this stuff anymore. You can't turn a blind eye to it. Something has to be done. Something has to be said. It has to be addressed. Uncomfortable conversations have to are needed. Uncomfortable conversations are needed. It's going to ruffle some feathers. Some people aren't going to like what was going to be said. Some people aren't going to like what's going to be heard. But I mean, the truth needs to be, it needs to be put out, and it needs, this shit needs to be addressed, man. Honestly.
Well, I know you guys have seen people talk about defunding the police. How do you feel personally about defunding the police?
It's funny because we was talking about this over the week, and so someone had actually put in a thread like about defunding the police. I was like, yeah, but to an extent, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's something that I when it comes to the funds or like something needs to be addressed. Defunding, yeah, but how would it be effective in a sense if you just totally defund them? You just pull all the money and have these motherfuckers walking around with nightsticks and and billy clubs like they do in London, or is it, what's being?
Now, what they're saying is a lot of police departments, their budget is literally 1/3 of a city's budget. So like you have the city and like literally 1/3 goes to the police. So for example, in New York City, their budget is $6 billion for the cops. $6 billion. And if that $6 billion, like I said, that the police in New York were considered a military, that would be the 33rd largest military in the world. The New York City police would be the 33rd largest. So people are saying, wait a minute, why does 1/3 of your budget go to the cops when schools are underfunded, when social programs are underfunded, when mental health is underfunded? No one's saying bankrupt the cops, but take some of that money and put it towards other programs that would help benefit the community instead of giving it to cops. And I don't know if you saw the New York City payroll. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Some of them cats making $300,000 a year.
One dude's base salary is $432,000 on top of the $100K he made in overtime.
Oh yeah. Well, then that shit has to be strict. That money got to go, Slim.
So I think what the problem is, and I think Quan, you and I discussed it off the record, pun intended. I think you and I discussed it because you was like, nah, man, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, man, I think the problem is a lot of people feel like when they see the word or hear the phrase defund the police, that it means get rid of the police or disband the police. That's not what it means. What it means is like basically what Alex said. is look into that budget and how much money you're putting into these police departments and spread it apart. Now,
Mhm.
you even have now police officers speaking out and saying that defunding the police might be a good idea because it would take some weight off of them, right? Because one of the problems that could be happening is we may be putting too much bearing and responsibility on our police officers, right? Because our police officers are expected to be police officers, mental health officials, uh, a whole not security officers, everything, right?
Mhm.
And that's not what they're there for. That's not what they're for. We have people that can handle those things. That the extra things that they're asked to do.
Mhm.
If you put that money there, you can have those people in place to take care of those situations.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. So you have police officers speaking out saying, "Yo, defunding the police could be a good thing because it takes some weight off of them." No one, I mean, that would be the dumbest shit to completely wipe out police officers.
Yep.
That would be stupid. So that's
Mike,
not what defunding means.
you hit it on the head. Like my brother-in-law, he was saying, he's a cop, and he said the thing is, if they take money from them, then that would go to like, people like my wife, who's a mental health clinician. And he was like, basically, he may be out of a job. Now he's not advocating for that versus my wife or anything. He's for more social programs. But like, I think a lot of cops feel that way. Like, wait a minute, if you take money from us and give it to other people, I don't care if it helps. That's still money out of my pocket. And
Right.
when you look at their budgets, did you all know that the Los Angeles United School District Police, these motherfuckers had, I usually don't curse on Sundays. God forgive me. Do you know they had grenade launchers? The LA United
Oh, yeah.
School District, and they just agreed to give them back. Why do school police need grenade launchers?
Right. Yo, to piggyback off of that, I know y'all seen the picture. I think I sent it to you, Quan.
Yeah, the
Alex, you
picture with
probably seen
the dude was riding in a cop convertible or something like that. It was like a
in a
Bugatti or something. In a
Lamborghini
Lamborghini, like
in
strip that
LA.
shit. Yeah.
Like this is not Dubai or something like that. Like, bro, in LA, that's how you know these budgets is out of whack because
Dude, the one dude was driving a Tesla. It was a police cruiser, a Tesla.
yeah, and their excuse was, oh, because it saves on gas and blah blah. Like what? Like,
What
I mean, that's how you know.
$80,000
Right. That's how you know, right? That they have they have too much money on their hand
It's
that
something.
they can spend on that type of shit.
Yeah,
So
something. My bad.
and even to go to your brother-in-law, Alex, like I get that feeling, but even defunding them, right, doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking but so much out of their pocket. It can be work that they make that they get their money, but at the same time and doing less work. Like I feel like you run into more scenarios or more situations that we've seen of innocent people being killed because they aren't trained to handle that situation. Sometimes you run into people that aren't mentally stable who end up getting killed because the police don't know how to handle that situation.
Well, let me say this, man.
I got to go. Please. I have something. Go ahead. I'm listening.
The officers that think that defunding the police takes away from their salaries, the truth is when you actually look at the police budget, the salaries are just a small portion. The chief of police and whoever's in charge of the budget, they spending that money on other things, on their own stuff, just like a lot of big corporations do when they misappropriate funds.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then
go ahead, Quan.
To jump on that, defunding is one thing, but the laws are still the laws. So until these policies change, until these laws get ripped up, you know what I mean? These racist ass laws get ripped up. Like, I mean, defunding is going to help, but it also stems from the top as well too. The politicians and, like I said, making the law, creating these laws. These police, they shoot, they kill, they're able to get off. The one dude, one of the cops in the George Floyd case, he just got off. Well, not off, but he just posted bail. Wasn't he just posted bail for like $750,000?
Yeah. So
I mean, the defunding part is going to help, and if that's the case, and take some of that money, but also it starts from the top too. Like these laws, all this stuff, these like I said, the police chiefs, the district attorneys, you know, those racist ass people, you got to gut them out. You got to
Hey,
get
bro.
them out of there.
And not look, every other part of law enforcement, attorneys, judges, the people that the paramedics, everybody's supposed to have an advanced degree and have multiple years of training, every annual training, except for a cop can have a damn GED and be given a gun and it's 6 months be on the street. When attorneys have to have 6 to 8 years of education, judges even that as well. The people in mental health, the doctors who everybody needs advanced education and training except for the dudes out there with the guns.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And then when they shoot, they can, like I said, they shoot, kill, and they able to get off.
And look,
how the fuck is George? I'm sorry. How is George Zimmerman just walking around like signing autographs? You know what I'm saying? I know.
He was signing bags of Skittles.
Yeah, signing bags of Skittles like it's just all good. Taking pictures and and making mockery of what's being done. Like
people, the police have empowered local citizens, regular citizens, to think that if they see a black man or black boy walking down the street, that they're entitled to question them. That's why. So, on that note, let me ask you this: have you ever been racially profiled?
Sure. The question should be how many times?
Yeah.
How many times, man? It's umpteen times. I mean, I kind of, I guess a couple of weeks back, I kind of outlined the situation that happened between me and Brandon, one of our co-hosts that couldn't make it today. And we were down visiting Quan in North Carolina on our way back home, and we got pulled over on the side of, I think people 85. Was telling me it was 85, 85. Yeah, 85. Right before you get to 95, I think, right?
Yeah, it was 85. I remember that. I remember.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a 2-3 lane road, no lights, nothing but trees, and we two black men on the side of the road, standing outside the car, being detained by 3 white officers, and I mean, literally, we were out there for 2 hours, man. Like, they searched the entire car. I don't know how many times they brought the canine dog. It was just, it was crazy. And the last call I could make, the last call I got was from Quan, because I had posted on Facebook because I knew that it was about to go down. So I posted on Facebook like, yo, if y'all don't hear from us, they'll check on us because we just got pulled over. And Quan must have saw it, and Quan called me and was like, yo, you good? Because they pulled Brandon out the car. And I'm still in the car. He was like, yo, y'all good? And I was like, yo, we just got pulled over. And then Quan was like, yo, y'all need me to? And then my phone died. And I was just like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And it was literally, we was probably out there for 2 hours. Like, it was still daylight when they pulled us over. By the end of everything, it was dark. They went through the car. I had a Baltimore Orioles duffel bag in the back. I think one of the cops, trying to make light, because I think one of the cops realized that what was going on was wrong. And he was like, while the other two searching the car, he was like, who likes the Orioles? And I was like, I do. And he was like, the Orioles suck, blah, 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 like all of that. Now, they asked us where we were from like 10 times. And by that time, I'm pissed off. So I'm like, yo, you have our IDs. Wherever our address is, that's where we're from, man. Like, the state that is issued, that's where we're from. We keep telling you that. So then they turned back around and asked me again. The second cop asked me again, who likes the Orioles? And I was like, people from Baltimore. Like that. Like, because, I mean, at that point, we were just so pissed off that, of course, our mouth was getting loose, too. Like, it just felt like at that point, like, yo, if y'all gonna rough us up or lock us up, like, do it. Because you don't have nothing. So do it. That was probably the scariest time that I've been a part of, because it was just like, yo, you felt helpless. And the ride home, now mind you, we still had 3 or so hours left in the ride. So we stewing on that the whole ride home. And it was just a feeling of just being helpless, like, vulnerable, feeling like you got taken advantage of. It was just all of that, man. That was probably the scariest time. But That's one of umpteen that has happened to me.
What about you, Quan?
Yeah, actually the same thing. I was on 85 one day, actually going to work, going to Virginia. What is up with the 85 and like black people getting pulled over and like it's something with that 85, yo. I hate
Yo,
driving 85, yo.
not to cut you off, Corn, but real quick, when I posted my story, it was it's a guy that has a podcast who used to be a former cop.
Mm-hmm.
And he chimed in and he was like, he said, I knew exactly what you're talking about. Even the guy, Country Boy from the Cut podcast, he knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he even said, he was like, yo, it's not even so much racial why they pulling you over on 85. He's like, that road is full of like power hungry police officers that just want to, because they know you're not from there, they want to throw their weight around. But so people knew exactly what I was talking about. But go ahead, Quan.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I mean, the same thing. I mean, I was going to work. This was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to work, and that's when I was working in Virginia at the time. And I'm just driving, like just like a normal day. Jumped on 85, and y'all know me. Y'all know I drive like Morgan Freeman and driving Miss Daisy. So take my time, and
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like because I already know. So I already know. So I'm like, I'm just gonna take my time driving on, and cop car pulls out. So I'm like, oh, here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like here we go. So driving, doing the speed limit, still get pulled over. I'm even in the slow lane. I'm nowhere near in the fast lane. Pulls me over. And so, mind you, the first thing he did when he pulled, you know how they normally come to the driver's side?
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He went to the other side. He came to the passenger side. And so when I saw him through the mirror, he came to the passenger side, had his gun on his hip, had his hand on his gun, and he was about to, I don't know if he's gonna pull the tone out, but he was ready. So, and he was already looking suspicious, like kind of looking around the car and trying to figure out what was going on. And I was just telling him, like, yeah, I'm on my way to work. Like, and he's like, you on your way to work? Where do you work? I work in Virginia. What do you do? I work for a mental health agency. Well, what part of you going? I'm going to South Hill. Like, I mean, what more do you want to know? Like, I mean, I don't, well, you were driving, I was just trying to figure out what's going on. You were driving kind of slow. I was like, yeah, I was doing the speed limit. I didn't want to, drive fast or whatever. I'm just taking my time going to work. It's in the morning. Right. Then he proceeded for this very reason. So then he proceeded to say, well, I smell alcohol. Do you been drinking this morning? Like, no, sir, I don't drink. And why I don't drink? And why would I be drinking fucking 9 o'clock in the morning going to work? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't. So he used that and tried to say, well, I'm gonna have to search your car because smelling alcohol and he's like, well, do you mind if I search your car? I was like, yes, I do mind if you search. Yes, I do mind. I don't want you searching my car. So then he starts, well, in the state of Virginia, PS code 777, start throwing all those keywords out. So he pulled me out the car. Like pulled me out the car, put me in his car, and then started searching my car. Like literally just going through my car, just searching it. And I'm like, I'm in the back seat. I'm like, this motherfucker, he's really about to set me up. That's what I was thinking. I was like, he's about to take something. Because I'm like, I don't, I'm just literally going to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he's about to literally take. That's what I thought. I thought he had some crack in his pocket or something, or something in his pocket that he was going to stuff it in my car. You know what I'm saying? And he was going to literally try to charge me with something or try to set me up. So, I don't know. By the grace of God, he came back in and was like, I don't see anything. There's nothing in the And I was like, like I told you before. You know what I'm saying? So, but mind you, before then, what I did was I happened to, when he was doing the process and everything, and he was trying to like pull me out. I happened to call the job at the time, and the lady at the time was working the job, and she actually picked up, and I was like, hey, just to let you know, I'm going to be a little bit late because I got this police officer. He just pulled me over for no apparent reason, and I'm trying to get to work so I can go see this client. And so she was like, okay, all right, just, do what you got to do. You okay? You all right? You need, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm just trying to just get to work. So I guess he kind of saw that and was like, oh, all right, yeah, he's not lying. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm not. I'm going to work. Like, what? I mean, what would I be doing out around here 8, 9 o'clock in the morning? You think I'm just driving around just for the heck of it, just because I want to? Like, nah. But yeah, so back to I'm in the car, in the backseat of the car, the police car, and comes back in, and he's like, yeah, man, didn't find anything, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a warning. Just have a nice day. And I get out the car, and I'm like, yo, like, get back in the car, and I'm driving, and I'm just like, yo, I'm like shaking, like, you know what I mean? Steering wheel, hand on the steering wheel, and I'm literally just shaking in fear because I'm like, yo, this dude literally could have put something in my car and said that I was doing something illegal, I was doing something suspicious, and nobody would have, you know what I'm saying? Nobody could have vouched. No one could have done anything. And so that's the scary part. This is what people don't understand. This is what, you know what I'm saying, white people, when they look at this and, they're like flabbergasted that people go through this, that men of color or women of color or kids of color go through this. And then you're telling them like, yeah, this is what happens to us on a daily basis.
I remember when we were younger and we got pulled over that time and they tried to say we robbed a Burger King and had us on the ground. I remember that.
No, yeah.
And we were nowhere even near the Burger King when it got robbed. And then when my mom was living, when she was living and she lived out in Columbia, she had a seizure one night, like 2, 3 in the morning. So she was at Howard County General. So I get the phone call. All right, I'm going to go to the hospital. So I'm going past the mall and I get pulled over. This cop walks up and he's like, you have any guns or drugs in the car? And I was like, no, I'm a banker. I don't do drugs. I don't sell drugs. I don't have any guns. And first off, as if somebody gets pulled over, they're going to say, oh yeah, I got an AK in the trunk. Like, come on, man. No one's going to say that anyway. And then when I said I was a banker, he was like, oh, that's how you were able to buy this fancy car. Man, like, so he takes my license and goes to the car behind me. Yo, 4 or 5 other police pull up. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Now I'm 5'7", 145 pounds. Why does he need 4 or 5 other officers? Right? Like this is crazy. And I'm just thinking, all right, I can here we go. I already know where this is going. I'm probably going to get locked up. And so he comes up and he's like, your registration is suspended. And I said, I know. I said the comptroller in Maryland made a mistake, flagged my tags. I talked to the DMV, took care of it earlier today. He was like, well, they didn't process it all the way. It's not fixed in the computer. So I can't let you go to the hospital. And I was like, well, my mom's house isn't far from here. Can I at least take my car to my mother's house? So he follows me to my mom's house, right? So here's the crazy part. The state of Maryland, they flagged my tags. They said that I owed the IRS some money, right? And I didn't find out until I went to the NBA to renew my license. Go to the NBA. The lady was like, your tags are flagged. And I'm like, I don't owe the IRS any money. So she gives me the number to the comptroller. I call the comptroller. I'm on the phone with them for about an hour. Lady at the comptroller's office says, you know what? We made a mistake. We owe you $156. You don't owe us anything. I'm like, yo, so y'all made a clerical error, flagged me for owing you all tax money. In reality, you owe me money. And she was like, yeah. She was like, so I'm gonna email you this document and you can take that to the NBA. And I'm like, that me getting pulled over could have went in all kinds of crazy directions because you all didn't do what you were supposed to do. The same thing happened one time when I was down in school in North Carolina at Shaw. I got in a parking ticket down there, paid the parking ticket, was on my way to Dayu's house. And I'll never forget, I got pulled over. 6 cops pull up and they're like, your tags or something is suspended. And I was like, I know what this is about. You can go in my glove box. I've got a carbon copy of the check from the bank that I sent to the sheriff's office 6 months prior. He gets the check. He's like, well, this isn't proof. They arrest me, take me to Skaggsville. I go to the intake officer and the cop is like, he said it was because of a traffic violation in North Carolina. He had a check showing that he paid it. I believe him, but I want to bring him in just in case there's any warrants. Put me in the cell. I'm in there 9 hours. I get to see the commissioner that next morning. The commissioner believes me and releases me. I then call down to North Carolina Monday morning and I called to the NBA North Carolina. I said, I got arrested because you all didn't do something with me paying my ticket. I paid the ticket. Lady pulls it up. Oh, you did. My fault. And I'm like, these kinds of situations can go left when we get pulled over because you all make clerical mistakes and then don't own up to it. So those are the things that I think people don't realize. Let me ask you this. Do you think that these protests are having positive change, impacting positive change right now?
I think to an extent. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's, I mean, it's something, so it feels a little bit different, I guess. But I don't know. We still got to see the outcome, and we still have to see what happens in the sense of these protests going to assist with what's needed for, you know, I mean, what's going to, I mean, pretty much is it going to be assistive to, I mean, to the Black cause and to what's needed for us. That's just what we just got to wait and see. But it does feel a little bit different. It does feel a little bit different to me. You know, the younger generation, I mean, man, they came out in waves.
Yeah, they out.
They out here. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that you know, we can't discredit. You know what I'm saying? They out here. They you know, they out here for us. They out here, you know, letting everybody know what's going on and how the shit ain't right, how the shit ain't been right for 400 plus years. You know, so I don't know. We just gotta wait. We just gotta see, man. We just gotta see. But this does feel a little different. It does. To me, it does.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Mike?
I think it is making some difference, man. I think we slowly but surely seen a lot of things that's changed already. A lot of at least a lot of the we're being heard that we're sitting at some of these tables now. So that we're sitting at some of these tables now, which, you know, that's one of the issues that was going on. Like they weren't willing to listen to the issues that we had that was going on. So I think that's happening. You see mayors and governors and other people in these positions, police chiefs, they're acting a little more swift when it comes to these situations like we had with the gentleman 2 nights ago or last night, Rayshard Brooks. You know, they're firing these officers faster. You know, they're not waiting on that. I mean, of course, it could be better. You know what I mean? Like with the George Floyd situation, waiting so long before you arrest these people. Same with Ahmaud Arbery and stuff like that. But I think we're being heard, and I think it is making a difference, man. I think another thing that's happening, and no matter what people say, you know, people are saying that it's PR from some of these main companies, some of these big companies, and it probably is. But you know what? We getting them to put up some money, and that's what we want. Hey, if it's PR or not, get their money and get them to donate towards the causes, and then let's do the right thing and use that money the right way. So I think it's making some change.
Yeah, this time feels different. And this time definitely feels different. And it might also be because there's a pandemic happening in the background of all of this.
Yeah.
There is a generation that's coming out and fighting. They are tired of what's going on. And I'm proud that these people are out there fighting. And so I do feel like I do feel like that they are making a difference. Only time will tell, you know, how impactful these protests are. I support the protests. Go out there and do what you want to do. Fight.
I do too.
I mean, people, regardless if you are, people keep saying do it peacefully, do it like Martin Luther King. Well, y'all still assassinated Martin Luther King. And he was as peaceful a black leader as there has ever been. So it doesn't matter if you believe in Martin or you believe in Malcolm. They are going to take you down no matter what if they think that you are a threat. So forget how people tell you to protest.
Yeah.
Do what you think is going to impact social change.
And even Martin said, rioting is the voice of the it's the voice of the unheard, man.
Yeah.
So
and you got to ask that question: why are these folks out here? Why are they rioting? Why are they quote unquote looting? That's bullshit. But why are they? You know what I mean? You got to ask these questions. Like people in these high places and white folks, ask yourself these questions. Why do they feel this way? Why are we going through this shit? Why are people out here, you know what I mean, knocking stuff down? Why are people out here screaming, fighting, you know what I mean, for what's right? Just ask that question. And I guarantee you'll get the answer. It may not be the answer that you may not want to hear, but it's a truthful answer. Yeah. And it's factual. So yeah, anyway, they got to do it, let it be known.
And I was just about to say what Tabitha Arnold said in the comments. People are sick and tired, man. People are sick and tired. So, you don't want to listen to us when we telling you these things are happening. So this how we gonna get your attention.
Yeah,
we're gonna knock some shit down. We're gonna burn some shit up.
And all it is all you got to think about. All it is the blowback from slavery, from Jim Crow. You know what I mean? From all the oppression that we faced for 400 plus years.
It can go.
You know what I'm saying?
It can go back that far. But these young cats are out here because, they're seeing it. I think even the young generation, which isn't that much younger than us, I think even the complaints that we've had, I think a lot of our young brothers and sisters haven't experienced that. They haven't seen it, right? And I think, because a lot of them, even with the Mike Brown situation and Trayvon Martin, I think they were still young at that time.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
But now I think they're seeing like, this shit is real. Like, they seen within the weeks of each other the videotape of Ahmaud Arbery and then George Floyd within weeks of each other.
Weeks. Yep.
And I think the difference, though, which feels really different about this one is, I think it's not just black people that's sick and tired, man. I think you got a good amount of all races and cultures and nationalities that's just tired. They're tired, and I think they've realized what's wrong is wrong. Bottom line, whether you agree with, it can go so many ways with that, right? But I think the majority of people realize that shit was wrong, and that is happening, and that is real.
Yep.
Well, so keeping with that thread, man, I do want to get to these celebrities that have been canceled, right? Like the cancel, these black celebrities, man, that honestly, if you're not for the cause, you need to shut up, right? So the first one I'm gonna throw at y'all is Desi Banks, and just to give everybody the backdrop, when the protest kicked off around May 30th, Desi Banks tweeted a picture that said this is a protest, which was one of Martin Luther King's protests, holding hands and walking. And then the bottom of it said this is a crime, and that was people looting and rioting. Is Desi Banks canceled to you?
Yeah, she is canceled, and I say that. Ask Desi. Ask yourself, why are people doing this? Ask yourself that question. Why are people, quote unquote, looting? I'm gonna keep putting that shit up there, looting. Okay, and why are people protesting? Ask yourself that question.
I think, so I think he's canceled. I think they would. So this is my problem with some of the council, the council or the canceling, or like Daoud said, the cancel gang. Like, I think they won't. I think sometimes they don't hear these people out. I think like Desi Banks is a young guy. He made his way, being a comedian on social media and things like that. I think I'm gonna say this. I think he's canceled, but I'm not giving him a lifetime sentence. I'm not giving him a lifetime sentence. I think I think he's young enough that with some good talking to, he can be, his mindset can be changed. And I think that's what he said in this video when he came back out after all this happened. Like, he talked to some of the elders, and they told him why what he said was wrong. So I think part of his issue is just his youth. But damn, did they hit him hard? He lost 500,000 followers in like a day. So they hit that brother hard, man.
Man, all right. Let me
next up? Who's next up?
What you think, Alex?
Let me just say this.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear that he's too young. 26 years old. Let me say this. If you are going to speak on a situation, then you're old enough to understand the situation. And if you say something stupid, then I don't want to hear you're young. I don't want to hear that at all. So Desi Banks, who has become famous for doing those, all those videos on hood dudes.
Coaches,
look, man, you made your money off of pretending to be a hood dude, making fun of the hood dude. If you don't understand the situation, keep your mouth shut. Whether or not he's canceled for now or forever, that's neither here nor there. I don't know. Look, he ain't Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how relevant he really is, I don't even know. But whatever. Let me throw this one at y'all.
Who's next? Throw him up. Who else is walking the plank? Let's go.
B. Simone. And let me say this. When I first heard about her, I said, who is B. Simone? I had no idea until I realized she was one of those Wild House girls.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Yeah. So she got canceled twice this week. One. Yeah. So let me. She got canceled once because of the protest. She said, I'm not living to please man. I'm here to please God. At the end of the day, I'm a Christian. I'm God-fearing. I have to answer him. I'm going to ask myself, what would Jesus do? Not what would an angry black woman do. I am angry, but I am also trying to be godly. I agree. You should always reflect on what do you think God would do. Except people then pulled out videos of her twerking and doing all kinds of stuff. So how can you be godly when it comes to protesting, yet you shaking your ass for cash, as Quan would probably say. And then she was also canceled because she went on to say she would never date a guy or marry a guy that worked a 9 to 5.
Oh, that's
completely
her.
Not realizing that there are a lot of people making huge amounts of money working 9 to 5. But she said that someone working a 9 to 5 wouldn't have her passion and wouldn't understand why she's up at 2 or 3 in the morning being an entrepreneur. Then I think we just lost Quan. But then after she released that statement that she wouldn't date a 9 to 5 dude, she released a book. And people found out that book was actually plagiarized from Pinterest. Make it make sense, Mike. Make it make sense.
Listen, I'm with you. I didn't know who she was at first. Once I saw that, she was on the canceled list, I started looking her up, and I still was confused. Like, yo, who the fuck is B. Simone? Then I started seeing her videos. Then I seen her rebuttal and all of that after she had already been canceled. Bro, again, you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want to hear this.
Hold up.
I'm gonna put it on her. I'm gonna put it on her youth, yo. I'm gonna put it on her youth. She don't know. She don't know no better, man.
Yeah. Can I say you talking about what's it the chick that said she didn't want to deal with a guy?
Right. She's 29.
Is she 29?
Yes. She ain't 14. She's 29.
I didn't know she was that young. That old.
She,
all right. Yeah. She canceled it. Slice her ass up.
Yeah, walk her to the plank. And I'm just going to walk her to the plank just because she's talking about she don't want to deal with a dude that's like worse than 9 to 5. That's not even talking about the whole protest thing. So she can walk the plank. That's I don't know.
That thing is just that's stupid. But the protest thing.
Dayu wants to know about the plagiarism. To be clear, all those women that go on Pinterest and post like recipes and stuff, that stuff is copywritten. It's just like a song or a beat or a movie. It's copyrighted material. She literally went and copied pages from Pinterest and put it in her book. And people.
So hold on, what was her book about?
I guess arts and crafts and how to build things. And there's a lot of that stuff on Pinterest. So people were like, so wait a minute, she's putting down people that work at 9 to 5 to say she's an entrepreneur, but she's really stealing. And then I didn't have him on my list, but I'm just going to put him on there now. Then today, Meek Mill came to her defense and said, we're tearing down one of our own when white corporations do the same thing. Okay, it's wrong for white corporations to steal material somebody else came up with. It's also wrong for B. Simone to do the same thing. Meek needs to sit this one out.
Yeah, especially when, you know what I'm saying, when it came to police reform, and especially when people were rallying for Meek's ass to get out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, chill, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
two things. I agree with Brown Sugar Diaries is saying. She manifested this L. I do think she manifested this L because I think that she doubled down. Right?
Who?
She made
B. Simone?
B. Simone. When she made the initial comments, she still doubled down on some of her comments that she was tweeting after the fact that people came in her head. right? Now she did try to post some halfway videos of her out protesting in Atlanta and shit like that, but she doubled down on what she said, right? So I do agree with Brown Sugar Diaries that she did manifest that out. Now going to Meek, I get what you're saying. Meek, I feel like Meek has a point in what he's saying, though. I do understand what he's saying because I saw people was coming at him like, "Well, you came at Drake for getting somebody to write his rhymes.
Yeah,
yet you're defending her for
ghostwriting is not worse than stealing copyrighted material." Yo,
I had to feel the ghostwriting was going to come up.
Because he paid. I mean, Drake. Yeah, Drake paid somebody for that service. I mean, like he didn't write it, but he paid somebody for it.
Shout out to Quinn.
But I do agree with them on the sense. I do agree with them on the sense of we do give some of these major corporations a pass on what they do.
Not all of us, like Starbucks.
So
as an
he's
example.
saying
They're canceled.
Done.
Yeah,
I'll make my own mocha latte.
I mean, you're gonna have some Negroes at Starbucks tomorrow morning.
And you're gonna have some Negroes that still support B. Simone. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of which. I mean, Meek came to her defense, and what she did was wrong. He should have kept his mouth shut.
This is what I agree with on Meek. This is what I agree with what Meek said. He said, "Yo, we're basically cliff noting it. We're canceling her because she beat the system. When we don't cancel these corporations who do the same thing." So from a standpoint of her beating the quote unquote beating the system to get ahead, I hear what he's saying on that. But I do think she's
bro.
I'm giving her a lifetime sentence too.
Let me say this.
Hey, lifetime.
Let me say this. Beating the system, whatever you want to call it. She tweeted, "What would Jesus do?" Jesus wouldn't steal copyrighted material. All right. He wouldn't do that. I know that for sure. And furthermore, she wouldn't mess with a regular dude. Jesus was a carpenter. Yeah. So
Jesus got down with the folks, dog. Jesus was in the streets, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jesus is God, and he was washing people's feet.
Exactly.
So I don't. You can't play that Jesus card on one side and then act like you better than everybody else on the flip side, and then get mad when people come at your neck.
Yeah. Well, that damn that damn statement about the 9-to-5 dude was the dumbest shit. It was the dumbest shit. That I was just like, when she said it, I was just like, you know what? It was like one of those statements where she was trying. It felt so forced that she was just trying to say something different than everybody else. And even when Nick Cannon asked her, like, "Yo, you got some people that's working 9-to-5s that's making $250,000-300,000 a year," and she still doubled down and but they don't know my passion.
Oh, what is she? Taking ass for cash. Look, let me. Here's somebody else that shakes their ass for cash. Trina, who came out and said that the protesters were animals.
Oh shit!
Bro, she got to be canceled too, right?
She got to go. She got to go, bro. She got to go. And we've been listening to. Hey, we've been listening to Trina since. I mean, Trick. We'll be listening to Trick. You know,
the only reason people listen to Trina is because of Nan. Let's just call it what it is.
That's true. And you know, yeah, like come on, yo, you can't go. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
So let me play devil's advocate, right? Now, part of her comment was based off of when as you say, Quan, quote unquote looting went on in Atlanta. A friend of hers who was a black-owned business, small business. Her business was hit.
Let me stop you there. So I believe
upset.
Black Twitter sniffed out that black business that Trina was defending was against the cause.
Oh, well, sorry for you. I mean,
I'm not connected in with Black Twitter like that. Like,
and they went and found it. Yeah, they found the owners like the tweets and stuff on Instagram apparently that was anti, protest and all that.
You know, my thing with that is like, ask yourself the question why people are looting. You know what I mean? Why people feel this way? Like, so even with her, like you grew up around black people. You know the story.
Wait, but she word is she tried to say she was Puerto Rican and her family says she's not.
Yeah, like 3-4 years ago, she said she was like Haitian or something like that. Like what? Okay, all right.
I'll be honest. Her whole rant. I think if she'd have took a step back on some of the things, like it would have made some sense. But I think she was full-fledged. She was full steam ahead, man. And some of the things she said was just like, yo. Now, you're not like, it's not like she was a major crossover star. So your success came off of the back of those people that you calling animals.
Exactly.
And that's what Trick was saying. Trick was basically telling her, like, yo, watch what you say.
Yeah. Especially when you've been riding Trick's wheel since '99. Like, what?
They said her last CD only sold 600 copies. So I mean, come on, man. Who like?
Yeah, what's the name? Lit her up, yo.
Kaya.
Did y'all see Kaya lit her up?
Yeah, Kaya destroyed it. Gosh.
Like you going at your own base. I mean, and look, and protesters. Do you think protesters come up to a building and say, "Oh, is this building black owned? Let me look it up. Let me find out." No, they're just ripping through whatever they're angry. Like, come on, man.
And this is another thing about that shit. And this, I'm gonna say this quickly so we don't go off too far off on a tangent. But yo, a lot of that looting and shit wasn't us.
Oh, I know. Yo, all them pallets of bricks appearing out of nowhere.
Yeah. Just
that wasn't
not even like. Yeah, not even a construction site. Like literally in the middle of like a beautiful neighborhood is bricks. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and the main thing, and one of the ones that stuck out to me the most, and we can move on, is the one where they say, they showed where they ran through a graveyard and wrote Black Lives Matters on the headstones
and knocked the graves over.
Dog, we not doing
Black
that.
people don't play with no graveyards. We don't desecrate graves.
Yeah. Right. You going too far with that.
We not. First of all, we not going to no graveyards at night, and then we all know graveyards is sacred ground.
Yep.
We ain't like we not doing that.
If you're gonna try and pin something on us, at least do something we would actually do. We not messing with no graveyard.
Yeah.
Right. Nah. That ain't us. So all right. So what y'all giving it? Y'all done with Trina? She done?
I hadn't listened to Trina since her verse on Nan, so for me it's neither here nor there.
Okay, so look, she can walk the plank, but she may be able to come back from this.
How?
Why, Quan? Because she got fat butt.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen Trina in years, so I don't.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know. She may be able to come back. Trick may be able to vouch for her and be like, yo, he may be able to bring her back to good graces. Well, not so much good graces, but to an extent where she can be like, people can kind of live with her. But I mean, I guess when you do that to us, man,
Trick,
we'll toss you to the wolves.
Trick tried to save her on the show. He tried to tell her, yo, watch what you saying. Watch what you're saying. She's on that. I don't care. So I don't know if she can come back for this.
Well, I got one for y'all.
She better get with Pitbull and make a crossover hit.
Pitbull not doing no song with her. He too big for her.
Yeah, Pitbull was on. He's on that reggaeton.
Let me throw this one at you. Terry Crews. He recently tweeted that defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like, what?
Yeah, like I with him, man. Yeah, that's why I say, the celebrities, man, they get this money, and they get to a certain status, man, and they get to a place where they can mingle, with the rich and be around the rich, and and it's like they just forget about everything, So
let me ask y'all a question. Do you agree? Did any part of his statement make sense?
No.
Nah.
Not a bit.
So, all right, so the part about defeating white supremacy without white people is impossible, basically. Is that true?
No, but that's not the full. But he says what he ends up saying is, though, that's just like he says defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. You can't be 13% of the population and have black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
It's not possible.
America. Yeah, it's just not,
regardless if white people help us or not. There's no way in the world America can ever be a black supremacist country. We don't. There's not enough of us.
And then the way that systematically has been set up all these years, there's no way that black people could literally get to the point of where the status of white people economically. You know what I'm saying? Like this.
You see what Jerome said?
What?
Oh, brother Cruz ain't messing good white folk money up for nothing.
and that's like when Gabrielle Union came out and said that she was, there were some racial issues at America's Got Talent, and Terry Crews was like, it ain't never happened to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. Hold on. I said earlier in the show, I am 5'7", 145 pounds, right? Cops looked at me like I was the biggest, toughest black dude. Let me look up how big Terry Crews is, because I'm going to make a point. Let me see if
Terry
I
at least six.
He got to be 6'4", 6'4", 280 or 300 or something.
Terry, let me be really clear. Let me start over. I am a fair-skinned 5'7", 140 black man, and the cops pulled me over like I was like I was Bumpy Johnson. Terry,
you did run a 4.2 40 unofficial, but it was 4.240.
My gold chain on too. Terry Crews is a 6'3", 240-pound, muscle-bound, dark-skinned black man. What does he think white people see when they look at him? They see a brute. Why does he who is he defending? Hey, come on, bro. Come on.
Check. Yeah. Like Rome said, that check, man.
That check ain't that large.
But that's what he said, that check. And he made
it through the cracks, and now it's like I need to keep this check coming.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do anything when Harvey Weinstein grabbed his sack. All right, so if he grabbed his sack in front of everybody and then laughed and he didn't do anything, well, I mean, what do you think he's going to do in this situation?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Because first of all, I mean, people canceled him, but I thought he was canceled from the Gabby Union.
Well, he probably is. It's just
he's serving 2 life sentences as far as I can. I mean,
and he's another person that got his come up by playing the hood dude in a lot of different movies.
Yeah, he was Damon. In Friday or next Friday or something like.
Mm-hmm. Yo,
I don't know, man.
So let me ask y'all this one.
This big ass can walk the plank too.
Let me ask y'all this: is Kanye West uncanceled for donating $2 million to George Floyd's family, Breonna Taylor's families? Is he uncanceled for giving up $2 million to support their families?
You know, that's a good question. That's a real good question. And I was going to ask that too. That's a good question because I got another celebrity that pretty much did the same thing, and I was going to, is he canceled? Because he was saying,
is he uncanceled?
I mean, go ahead. I'm listening.
You want me to go? Because my disdain for Kanye is very high.
Do your thing.
Let's go first before you go, because I know you're gonna like it too. I'm gonna say, and I said this because he was walking that line, and people started to call Kanye out, and then soon after, the donation came. Don't get me wrong, the donation is cool and nice and great, but I think in a case like this, we don't need to hear about what money you give it. Like, your voice will carry a lot more weight, especially you being affiliated with the MAGA team, or whatever you want to call it. Him speaking out to me would have outweighed that $2 million or whatever he gave. He could have still gave his money behind the scenes, but I felt like the Kanyes and the people that gave their money without speaking did that as an easy way out. Here's $2 million. I'm donating it to the family, or I'm donating it to BLM, or I'm donating it to whatever this cause is. But with silence, I wasn't feeling that. So to me, I mean, I wasn't feeling the move from the jump. That was my opinion on it. Like I said, the money was great, but him not speaking, that was the problem with me. What's the name already came? Kim typically got something to say on situations like this all the time too, and she ain't said shit. So, as far as I'm concerned, I felt like it was a move just to take the heat off of it.
What you think, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the money to him isn't nothing. Which, I mean, yeah, great, but I mean, you pretty much already said it how you stated when it comes to, with your past transgressions, or when it comes to your past messages, and the things that you said, you've already put it out there in the open how you feel. I just think the money is just a little bit of ploy just to kind of make himself feel a little bit better, and try to get back in good graces. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Daoud. Remember, we just had an argument about he's a self-proclaimed billionaire right now, right?
No, he ain't no billionaire.
According to him, he's worth over $3 billion. So $2 million, that's an easy way out.
Yeah, that's nothing. That's not even. You're not even thinking about that. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying? He ain't paying that $2 million.
those families that he donated money to, I know those families could certainly use that money. That money does not bring back the person that they lost, but it certainly will help them bury those people. Maybe fight the hire lawyers to fight for the rights of the person that they lost. The money is one thing, and donating the money to those families is one thing. Kanye West has 30,000 followers on Twitter, not to mention how many followers he just has just offline, right? He shucks and jives. He wears a Make America Great hat again. He takes up for Donald Trump. He does all these things. His words and his exposure cut deeper than that $2 million can heal. So sure, he's helping those individual families, but the way he carries himself, particularly as a parrot for Donald Trump, it's ridiculous. And so for me, I stopped listening to Kanye. I don't know. It's probably been about a decade since I bought anything Kanye related. I've never bought his shoes. I think they're ugly. I've never been a big fan of his early Rockefeller days. And so part of me just thinks that this was a way for him to get into good graces of black people, just like he did when he started the whole church thing, like doing things to make black people look at him in a favorable light. If you wanted to donate to those families, that's admirable. But let's also be clear, you probably did it via a nonprofit so you can get a tax write-off too, right? Like you didn't just give the check outright so that you didn't get something back. And so, I mean, is he canceled or not? There's a generation of people that love Kanye. So I don't think that he will ever really be canceled. But for me, I've seen through Kanye's nonsense for years now. And people that champion him, you're just as lost as he is.
Church.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, bro. The writing's on the wall. Like,
I think some of the moves. I mean, if you look a little deeper, into his moves. Listen, I've told Daoud, who's one of our biggest supporters. He's also a huge Kanye supporter. I've told him, listen, some of the moves he's made are genius, but they're also evil. So whether you want to call it evil genius or whatever you want to call it, you want to drop the evil and just call it genius. But if you do your research, folks, you will see the moves that were pulled. Like, I mean, look who his mother-in-law is. She's involved in that church thing too. It's a huge churches. I'm gonna just say this: churches are non-profit organizations. So just think about it. You start a non-profit organization where you got millions and millions of people that will give you profit. You don't got to pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't. He's a problem. So I'm not going to thank him for giving those families money. Like, that's between him and those families. Aside from that, he causes a lot of unnecessary issues for black people in this country. So I don't, he's neither here nor there in terms of me.
The money is, like I said, for those families, the money is great. I just feel like him speaking out would have said more. I'm disappointed in a lot of these.
Hold on, man. No. We don't need him to talk. Like, people going to Lil Wayne, asking Lil Wayne's opinion on police brutality and racism. Like, every black celebrity that has a platform, we don't need to put a microphone in front of and ask about racism. We don't, because they are not articulate enough. They've been wealthy too long. They don't need to be talking. Dave Chappelle said in his recent stand-up on YouTube, he said it. You don't need celebrities to always say something, because they don't know they don't even know what to say.
I'm talking about, and he even said it. He was like, this is like, what am I gonna say?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what can I say in this situation? He's like, I need to shut the up.
Yep.
Let the people that are out there, let their minds be heard. Let their voices be heard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and then also too, like, the question to that: is it a ploy for celebrities to kind of get some type of, status, or to try to get back in good graces?
Of course it is. Like, come on, we know what it is.
Yeah. So, like, and I was going to pick with that. So with Floyd, he put up $2 million for George Floyd's funeral, the services and everything.
Who did?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh,
I think he paid for all of it. So he was the one that was screaming that all lives matter. You know what I mean? It's not black lives. It's all lives matter.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
So, you know what I mean? Like, so even with that, with him, I kind of was like, yo, I mean, like, yeah, that, I mean, honestly, it's great. You know, you put money up, you know what I mean, to assist and help. But it's like, yo, you were screaming at all lives, you know what I mean? And no, it's not black lives. It's not about black lives. It's about
shit.
All.
When
he
he
was screaming that too.
When people
was
asking him, when Gucci released that those clothing lines and stuff that had the black images on it with the big red lips and all that and the big white eyes, people asked him, "You gonna stop wearing Gucci?" No, I'm not gonna stop. Come on, man.
He did say that. Yes, he did.
I mean, so we don't, like I said, we don't need every celebrity to have a microphone in front of them. Now they can certainly bankroll the cause, right? Like if you don't, if you're not articulate enough to understand systematic racism and to talk about it appropriately, then keep cutting checks and funding the cause. Keep bailing out protesters on the ground. Like, yeah. But if you're going to get on the camera and say all lives matter, or get on the camera and say, well, wait a minute, we need to hear both sides. I don't care if you're black or not. You're part of the problem. And if your business partners are calling you saying, hey, can you tone down the rhetoric? Can you talk to your people and get them to calm down? They're part of the problem.
They're part of the problem too. And you know that's what they're going to do. So either you do what's right or you don't.
Because like my thing is, who rides for y'all when y'all in trouble? Black people.
Black people. When your ass was coming up, you know what I'm saying? Who was sitting in them seats when you was regular Floyd Mayweather? Black people. You know what I'm saying? Who was rallying Trina? Who was buying your albums when nobody even kept? Black people. So now you get to a certain status, or you get to a certain, you know what I mean? You get to a certain part in life, and you just forget about everybody. You just forget about the people that, you know what I mean, assisted you and uplifted you. Like, come on, man. Nah. And, you know, just like you said, these people, whether they black, Hispanic, they need to be called out, yo. Because they're just as much as the problem as well.
Yep. It's wild, man. So those are the canceled names I had. Now, I'll throw this one at you. And this isn't really a cancel or not, because this isn't a black celebrity. What?
Oh, I thought you were about to throw someone out. Oh, my boy. Woo. Matter of fact, me and Daoud was talking about this past week. But no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, who?
That damn Candace Owens, yo.
Bro, first off, Candace Owens used to run a pro-liberal website for years. Like, she was a liberal. And then when she realized she couldn't make no money being a liberal, she started switching to the Republican side and started going on that tangent. I see through her just like Kanye. She's not brilliant. She's not intellectual. She's not a free spirit thinker. She's a dumbass, and she's part of the problem.
You know the thing with her too. Also,
yeah,
she was back. She like he said, she ran a pro liberal website.
The website joint, it's still up.
Yeah, and she did that also because there was some. Wasn't it, Alex? You can correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't there some discrimination case or something she filed against the school she went to?
Yeah, when she was 17. And the NCAA, my bad, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
My bad.
Yeah, it's something. It used the back of dems and all of that to win that situation in that case.
It's the white girl Tommy Lauren was liberal also at one point. She used to run a pro-liberal newspaper. They same with Diamond and Silk. All of them do. It's a shuck and jive move for cash, man. And I do not understand why anyone would support what they're doing. I don't get it. Like I said, man, like, let me stop before I say something wild on here.
My bad, B. I didn't mean to throw that. I didn't mean to throw out there.
Nah.
But yeah.
So let me ask y'all this, right? And this would probably be something that we can end on. Earlier in the comments, somebody asked, "Is Black Lives Matter a ploy?" Do we think that's a ploy? Do we think they're using our people, the money that's being pushed through it?
Well, I'll
tell you what, man. I hope and praise not, but if it is, man, God be with whoever made that, whoever pretty much decided to make that ploy, man, because. Wow. So I went and looked in some of the finances of Black Lives Matter, and there's some serious questions around the national organization and specifically where the national organization's money is going to. Local chapters is a different story. So people have been saying, when you give,
give to the local chapters, don't give to the national chapters. So there is some questions around where that money is going nationally. And I always tell people, before you give money, you better make sure you're clear how that money may be spent. But there are always going to be people out there that take something like Black Lives Matter that started out as a positive movement and then try to monetize it for their own personal gain. So it's up to you as an individual donor to make sure that you're donating to the right places. So there are some questions. Sure.
Yeah. Any organization that has been, I think even any with organization that's been created has some type of.
I think even with that being said, like I don't think that takes away from the movement.
The movement is pure.
Yeah, I think the movement. I think, like you said, I think the movement is pure. I think there are some questions or whatever. Some people think that it's a ploy behind it and all of that, but and I think as Black folks, like you said, Alex, like you know where you sending your money to. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, no matter what the cause is, do some research, man. People not doing no research and shit. Research and do what you know where you sending your money at.
No, that's what's most important, and I do think that's an appropriate way to close out the show, Mike. Know where you're sending your money, and if you don't have the money to give other ways. Whether it's using a platform if you have it, whether it's being out on the front lines, whether that's cash apping somebody on the front lines that maybe they can need something to eat, taking waters down to these protests. There's all kinds of ways to give.
Yeah, man. So many ways, and get in the community, like you said, platform.
Yep.
being assistance, being there, giving a helping hand,
Yeah, and I do want to mention, the last time we recorded, which seemed so long ago, I put out a challenge to other podcasters that look like us, other podcasters that don't look like us. And to my surprise, it kind of took off. So I just want to shout those people out. It was white, Black, everybody, and I had a lot of great conversations behind this. And that's one question I wanted to ask you guys too. But I had a lot of interesting, a lot of good conversation, a lot of I'm not gonna say uncomfortable conversation, but I want to say I'm not even gonna say forced. But I had a lot of conversations that people felt that I needed to be, I was one of the people they decided to seek out to have these talks. So, but it was ultimately good conversation, man, from people of all walks. So that's dope. So how has it been for you guys during this time? Have you found yourself having more conversation with, let's say, for example, white folks on? Have you more white folks willing to speak to you more just randomly? Has any of that changed for you since this happened? And we can close out on that.
I don't think so. I mean, I have noticed a little bit, like, white people have been a little bit extra nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to talk to me and shit, and trying to, like, just throwing a little bit on it when I'm like, yo, okay, all right, I kind of see what this is like,
right?
Yeah. But nah, and I'm willing to have those conversations. You know what I mean? Like, my, people that I know that white folks, whatever. Like, I'm willing to have those conversations, but are they willing to listen? Are they willing to sit down and take in what I'm saying? Are they willing, to do the research and do the history, and actually begin to unravel all this shit and for what it is, this systemic racism thing and where it came from and where it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, I mean, but then again, it's not my job to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not my job to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, to some of my friends or whatever, like, yeah, I'll have that conversation with them. Just, you just got to be prepared to listen.
What you think, Alex?
Like, my boss asked me some stuff and I talked to her, but like it is not my job to educate white people on racism. Y'all invented it. Y'all know what it's about.
Exactly.
So I might post pictures of books. There's plenty of books out there you can read. There's maybe other Black folks that are willing to kind of walk you through what we go through, but it is not my job to help you understand a system that you built.
So okay, so you guys feel like we don't have somewhat of an obligation to educate those who don't understand what's going on if they decide to ask us?
And I'll double down with Holland. Hell no.
Nope, it's not our job, man.
No.
There's so many scholars out there and people. No, don't call your only black friend because you want to participate and you think your black friend's supposed to know. Because the truth is, some black folks don't even know.
No.
As we just talked about some of these celebrities. So no.
Yeah. Hell no.
Well, listen.
Nah.
Of course.
Figured out yourself.
Well, look, man, I think we're gonna close out on that. I do want to shout out and show our shirts, man. Look, support black creators, man. We got them. Check the link in the bio. We got some other ones up there, man. It's a movement. Listen, crossover media coming soon. Off the record, we free agents now. I'm just putting that out there too. So, no shots, but shots.
Yeah, no, it ain't my job to do that. You figure that shit out, huh?
I just mentioned how off the record is free agents now.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, we're definitely free agents. So
we free agents now. So
yeah, that's another thing we got to discuss about.
Well, we appreciate y'all.
Call them out, Smokey. Don't go at their head too hard. Just know that we free agents.
We free agents in the game, dog.
Show your shirt too, Quan. We got those too. We got the off the record shirts too. The link is in the bio, man. Thank y'all for the support. We got a lot of people that's hitting us up and buying the merch from us, man. We appreciate y'all big time.
And we'll close out on that, folks, man. We appreciate y'all. We out.
We out.